That was going to be part of my segment called "Things Dan Harmon's Not Allowed to Complain About" because they make him sound like a rich douche. My mom loved season 4 of Community. The other items are I have a black widow infestation in my backyard.
You're allowed to complain about that.
Not to people who don't have backyards.
No, you've let them off the hook. Now they don't feel bad about not having a backyard.
Yeah, guys, stay in your apartments. Backyards have black widows. Erin was in the backyard. She moved a ceramic pot or a rabbit or something, and a black widow spider, like from the movies, crawled across her hand, and she killed it, and then found like its egg sac inside the ceramic rabbit, and they're all over our garage too. They're all up in our garage. She keeps telling me these stories about black widows crawling on her. I'm like, what is it? It's like Christopher Walken in Deer Hunter. It's like, stop whatever you're doing. Yeah. Knock it off.
Yes, stop putting your hands under ceramic items.
This is building a tree stump like in Flash Gordon in our front yard, so she could just put scorpions in it and reach into it every day.
If I have a golf ball that goes slightly into a bush, I get the longest club in the bag. I'm afraid of rattlesnakes.
Unless you live anywhere with snow on the trees, don't touch a bush. I came to California with that knowledge just from Time Life books about spiders. I was a big spider guy when I was a kid. I loved spiders. I would go out behind the garage in Wisconsin and I would play with bugs. I loved bugs. I was fascinated with them. I probably would have been an entomologist or something, or an arachnidopia. And I would just play with spiders and bugs and stuff. So much so that one of my aunts for Christmas gave me this big colorful book for adults about spiders because there was something I was really into. And I read the book. It was just a scientific book about the world's most poisonous spiders. And I remember reading like descriptions of like I think the black widow. I think it was the black widow. It said something like it remains relatively still, but it also has a lot of but its reflexes are so fast that it can traverse the length of a broomstick and a human arm faster than the human ability to drop the stick or something like that. Like purposely like using measurements to terrify you. Yeah. Like, it will be in your ear eating your brain before you can say there's a spider in my ear eating my brain.
I have a pretty live and let live policy with with bugs and stuff like that. I don't like ants. No one wants a bunch of ants in their place. So if I see one ant, that's the scout ant. So I do that. I whack that ant. So I make sure that he doesn't go back and tell the tale about...
You put his head on a microscopic pike.
A little tiny curb, and I kick his teeth in.
I always kill one when there's another one watching, and then I look at the other one and I say...
It doesn't work.
Tell your friends.
I've tried the tell your friends thing. It doesn't work. They do tell their friends, and they go, oh, the breadcrumb is still there?
So now, Kevin's dead, so if nothing else, we can eat Kevin.
Right.
Because they're insects.
Or we can go team up on that asshole that killed Kevin.
In their dreams.
But
fucking ants.
Spiders, no. I told you the story, right, about me falling asleep one time when I was 24. I had a girlfriend. I was staying at her place. And we were asleep, naked, and I woke up, and there was a sound of what I thought was like a moth had gone into my ear. I was laying on my left side, and something that sounded like a one-man band was in my brain. And it was, I jump up naked. I'm running around the room screaming. She's laughing because it looks hilarious. But I hear, it's that loud, and it's freaking out. And I'm trying to hit my head and get it out, and I'm punching myself in the ear. And she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "It's a moth. There's a fly or bugs in my ear." And it was so loud, and it was nonstop, like beating on flapping on my eardrum. And I punch myself in the head as hard as I can, dazing myself and the bug. And then I hear, which I think was his heart. I just dazed it and stunned it for a while, and then it starts going again. And every time I try to, she turns a light on, but I have to turn my head up to the light, which makes the feeling that gravity is going to bring it farther into my brain. And I don't want to do that, so I'm trying to like you try to get water out of your ear, and that's not working. So I've been told later on that if that happens, if a bug goes in your ear, pour alcohol in there. Like, knock it out, get it drunk, fuck it up, and then at least the insanity will stop. But I'm just losing my mind and punching myself. And she takes some tweezers out and tries to get it, and at long last, and it takes a long time. We're both nude in the bathroom in the middle of the night. And she's like, we'll get you to a hospital. Like, I'll be insane by the time we get to the hospital. I seriously will lose my mind. It was freaking me out. And the noise was so loud, and now it's scrambling, and I feel the sensation of it burrowing in. Oh my God. It's going the wrong way. Like, it's not going to go the way of the punching.
Right.
It's like, like there's a crazy...
It's descended from hundreds of generations of spiders that survived humanity.
It's just a crazy giant outside. He's not going to go that way.
He knows exactly when to stay put.
So she gets my head up this way to the light, so the ear is pointing up, and she puts the tweezers down my ear and manages to get halfway into my brain and pulls out a spider the size of a nickel.
And worth every penny.
Yeah. That's been our show. Good night, everybody. And it flies out, and we both scream because it's quite alive and it's pretty scary looking. And it hits the ground running, and so I barefoot just go wham and stamp on it with a size 13 and a half barefoot foot. And I lift up my foot, and it goes. It just shrugs it off and gets up and keeps running. And so I just.
There are days and there are days. I can't get a break around here.
It's like I wanted to be in your ear.
It looked like a barn.
Yeah. So it just fell down my ear, and they say that we eat lots of bugs in our sleep and don't know it, but I finally managed to kill it, and then for the rest of the time we dated, which wasn't long, she kept putting fake spiders in the bed. But
what?
Yeah, just to be I believe the word is asshole. And it's the worst. So now, like, I used to sleep with like a pillow on my head and stuff. It's terrible.
All right.
So now, sleep tight, everybody.
All right, my mom loves season 4. We're infested with black widows. We're going to have a guy come take care of it. That's why I sound like an asshole, because you guys couldn't have a guy come take care of it. I'm going to call the Black Widow guy. I don't know who he is. Harvey Keitel's going to pull up in a Ferrari